All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to use Tinkercad and just go over some of the basics that we already went over in class in case you missed it or in case you just need a refresher. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tinkercad, Tinkercad.com. All of you should already have an account that we created together. If you do not, I'm going to log out and show you what it looks like. It automatically logs me in. So you can join now, create an account, and click on Google. But most of you should have an account, so all you have to do is sign in with Google, and voila, there you go. There is your account. So again, it's going to, you have to select which one, and it will bring me into my automatically saving Tinkercad desktop. So again, I'm going to tinker this. Okay, and I'm going to delete this so I can remake it with you guys really quick. Again, this is our moving, or kind of little box that'll help us maneuver around. Home will take us back to a tilted position. If you want to fit in, zoom out, and it kind of gives us a perspective view, like a bird's eye view. But I'm going to click on the home view, or I'm going to actually tilt it just a little bit like that and zoom in a little less than that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up and select a box because I'm going to make a basic keychain which teaches us how to do all of the little moves that are very, very important. So again, I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to squish it down by grabbing that top box. I like to make my thickness about 3 for this project. I'm going to select a cylinder, and I'm going to bring the cylinder over, and I'm going to shrink it down because this is going to become our hole for the keychain. Does not need to be big. I'm going to make it a hole by selecting this grayed out shape. I'm going to grab it, and I always like to just drop it a little using the cone. And when I drop it a little, I can see that it comes on the underside, so I know it's going to make a hole all the way through. So whenever I'm making holes, I try to make it a little longer than it needs to be. I'm going to adjust it. I want it a little higher, and I'm going to check the back side. Yep, that's not quite where I want it, so I'm going to move it over just a little. There we go. I just don't want it too close to the edges. Now I'm going to click and drag to select the whole object. Group. Once I group it, it makes it a hole. Now you can ungroup it and move or change that hole just using the ungroup button. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add text. And now my text I want to stick up out of the keychain. But I'm still going to drop it in just a little bit so that way it is for sure in between. Now you can see I actually dropped it a little too much, so I'm going to actually shrink that down a little and then lift it back up. Again, that cone lifts it back up to be on the bottom of the build plate. Okay, and then once I'm selected in the shape, I can change the text to say Miss Rice. Now that's too big, so I'm going to shrink down my text to make it fit. Okay, and so now I'm going to click and drag over the whole image, group it again. And there we go. Now it's all one solid piece. Now the last thing I want you to know about, these are some more advanced features. You can turn it, and it'll actually tell you the degrees you've turned it. You can rotate it this way. Those are all important to be able to move your object all around. Now, the last thing I want you to do, or want you to know how to do, again, because all of these things that I've showed you will work for any of the different shapes. So I'm going to use the scribble one, and I'm just going to place it right here. It's going to show me a preview. am going to just make a simple heart on the shape. I'm going to color in my heart so you can see what it's doing. It gave you a preview. I'm going to hide preview, and I need to move this because I'm going to click on done to get out of there. And then I'm going to shrink it down because I don't want the heart that big. And then again, I'm going to click home to kind of show me a full view. Click and drag to select the whole object and group. Again, whenever I group it, it makes it part of the whole object. So it's one solid piece now. It's got my name, raised letters with a heart, and a hole. So again, those are your basic movement techniques for Tinkercad.